Hey, what's going on, friends? Bad Guy Cam here with our Week 5 battle of the SDF Season 6 going up against Coach Phoenix and the Chicago Chandelures. Big game this week for us. We are currently sitting at, spoiler alert, 1-3 after our loss last week. Very, very sad with how that end of the battle went. If there's one theme that I can say so far for this season is that I feel like I have been maybe panicking a little bit at the end of battles, or just kind of saying like, oh, well, that's game, or overthinking things too much. Because I do think that going back and kind of looking it over, there was definitely a chance that we could have pulled out the win there. It would have come down to luck 100%, but I didn't even give myself the chance. So that's what we're going to be looking at this game. If hopefully we can get it wrapped up before it gets to a close ending. But that's just kind of like the first thing I wanted to come off with, is that right now we're really in like the midst of we got to start winning to make playoffs. Sorry, I got something in my eye, but we really got to start winning to make playoffs. It's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy at all, especially when I look at Phoenix's team, which we are going to jump into now. He has Dragapult, Celesteela, Mega Venusaur, Terrakion, Starmie, Chandelure, Piloswine, Gramble, Galarian Linoon, Shedinja, and Komala. So some very, very scary Pokemon here. Specifically looking at like that Celesteela Mega Venusaur core is absolutely disgusting to have to deal with the dual leech seeds and just the coverage that they have for each other. Absolutely just bonkers trying to figure out a way to get through that. Dragapult, one of the scariest mons that you can come up against, and then you have just some major threats here. Like for me, I'm actually very, very scared of the Terrakion and the Chandelure, respectively, physically and specially. Very, very, very heavy hitters. Terrakion, I would not be surprised to see it come this week as like a choice scarf set. Chandelure also I think was going to make it. But to talk about the six that I think that they're going to bring this week, we have Celesteela, Terrakion, Dragapult, Mega Venusaur, Chandelure, and Starmie. I think those are the six that are going to make it. If any of these don't come, I think it could potentially be the maybe the Starmie, but then Hazards become a problem, so I think that he has to bring the Starmie. He could potentially bring the Komala. I also think that the Piloswine is a fairly decent bring. Granbull, I actually think maybe could make an appearance. It's a really great way to shut down both my Weavile and my Infernape for the most part. So I could definitely see that coming, but those first six are just absolutely insane to try and deal with. But we are going to try to do our best. So let's go ahead and talk about the team that we are going to be bringing. Kicking it off with Razor Blades leading the team out this week. Heavy duty boots, pressure, sword stance, ice shard knockoff, triple axle, 80 in HP, 252 in attack, 176 in speed with the jolly nature. So Weavile has generally a very good matchup this week. There are some scary things that it's going to have to deal with, but it's just so good. Like that ice shard with the sword stance is there for the Dragapult. Knockoff is hitting so many things on his team. With a sword stance up, triple axle is going to be doing some massive damage to that Celesteela Mega Venusaur core. One of the biggest things that really shuts us down, though, is the Terrakion and then the Chandelure. So those are definitely two big offensive threats. Chandelure, not so much if it's not scarfed. If it's scarfed, then yes, it's absolutely a huge problem for us if it's not already choice locked into something that's not a fire move. However, it could be a problem. And then, like I mentioned earlier, the Granbull is also there. So overall, this is actually a pretty good setup. I'm expecting some big things from Razor Blades this week. However, he does have some threats that we are going to need to take out of the way before Weavile can really sword stance and get in and do the business that we're expecting to do. Next up, I gotta find my mouse. We're talking about Hubba Bubba the Clefable. This week we are bringing a fully physically bulky version, leftover unaware, with Teleport, Soft Boil, Thunderbolt, and Moonblast. When there's a Dragapult that has the potential to Dragon Dance and just become so fast and so scary that it can just tear me to pieces, I need to bring in Clefable. That's just how it is. Also a Sword Stance Terrakion or a setup Celesteela with Power Herb, Meteor Beam, Autotomize. Like all of those sets are extremely scary, and I needed a way to nullify that. And this was a fantastic answer to that. So we are going fully physically bulky, and then that teleport is there to be able to get into some of our more offensive mons like the aforementioned Razor Blades, and then we have the soft boiled there to kind of stay healthy. Thunderbolt and Moonblast are there mainly just as coverage, specifically thinking the Celesteela could come in. If the Mega Venusaur comes in, that's a little bit of a problem. We do take a couple hits, but most cases we're just going to try to teleport out, hoping that he goes for like a Leech Seed or something, expecting me to switch, but we'll just have to see how that plays out. For the Mega Venusaur is actually a really huge problem, but our special wall this week that we're bringing fully specially bulky is King Henry the Empoleon, also holding the leftovers with Torrent, Defog, Toxic, Scald, and Ice Beam. Very similar set to what we ran last week, except for we are just going maxed out on the special side of the bulk. This is meant to be our switch into that Chandelure. If it's a choice spec Chandelure, this is going to hurt regardless. Shadow Balls are doing a ton of damage, but it was very, very difficult trying to prep for that Chandelure. It's going to be taking some lives, I guarantee it. It's going to be super hard to work around that thing. We're going to have to sacrifice it and hope and get lucky to beat it, I think. But we'll see. That's especially if it's Scarf, right? But we'll see. But aside from that, this thing is a really fantastic special wall. It handles special Dragapult, special Celesteela. Mega Venusaur can't do hardly anything to it except for Leech Seed. But in return, we can't really do a whole lot back. So it's kind of like a kind of trade-off there. And we're going to have to make some plays if that happens. But aside from that, like a Chandelure, we actually handle it pretty well overall if it's not like a choice spec set. But yeah, it's our special wall this week, and I mean, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and move on and talk about Edison. We're bringing another attacking version this week, holding the Expert Belt with Static, U-Turn, Roost, Discharge, and Hurricane. I know I swapped those, I don't know why, but I did. And then for our EV spread, we're doing 56 in HP, 252 in special attack, 4 in special defense, 196 in special attack, and a modest nature. Because of his speed tiers, we're able to run that modest nature. This is like the way that we kill Mega Venusaur. Expert Belt, Hurricane, Okos in pretty much every scenario, unless he is just maximum special bulk, which definitely could be the case, but that's what we're going to have to kind of feel out. But this is how we're going to take care of the Mega Venusaur. It also handles the Celesteela, so this is really our biggest answer to be able to break down that Celesteela Mega Venusaur core. Again, Terrakion. Terrakion is very scary here. Starmie could potentially be a problem if it's like running Ice Beam, and then Piloswine gets priority there as well. So that's why I could think Piloswine comes if he's really worried about the Zapdos. Other than that, Zapdos actually really does quite well against his team in general. And so we got the U-turn there. We have Roost because we aren't running the boots. We needed that little extra power boost to like make that KO happen on the Mega Venusaur. And I didn't want to run Life Orb so that we were taking that extra chip damage because we are going to need as much health as we possibly can against some of these mons. So that's what we're bringing with Zapdos Edison this week. Up next, we're bringing Dumbledore, the Mega Alakazam, with Magic Guard before it evolves, and then it will have Trace, Substitute, Psychic, Shadow Ball, and Focus Blast. I feel like this is a pretty standard set that I've been running recently. We're running... And for the EVs, we're running that 212 in speed, 252 special attack, 40 HP, and 4 in special defense. This is because this is going to ensure that we outspeed a Scarfed Chandelure under every single circumstance. And also we're going to be outspeeding the Dragapult in every circumstance. So this is, barring any Scarfer, is going to be the fastest thing on the field. Substitute is there because I fully expect Dragapult to have Sucker Punch because that does a ton of damage. And then it also can prevent something faster, like if he is running that Scarf Terrakion and he thinks he can like revenge kill me, or is like he's got something switching in or out. That's something he's just got to be aware of. And then Psychic, Shadow Ball, and Focus Blast hit his team pretty universally across the board. This is another answer to Mega Venusaur. And then the Shadow Ball hits quite a few things as well, like the Starmie and the Dragapult. So that is our Mega Alakazam this week. Pretty straightforward. Nothing too crazy there. And then the last mon that we're bringing is Infernape. Zuko with the Choice Scarf, Blaze ability, U-turn, Flare Blitz, Close Combat, Earthquake, 252 attack, 252 in speed, 4 in defense with a Jolly Nature. I really struggled for this last slot because of that Terrakion. And Choice Scarf Terrakion is just so scary for my team. Clefable's really the only thing that handles it. I can, depending on if he gets what he gets choice locked into, if he does bring like King Henry and Edison with, you know, Empoleon and Zapdos, they can kind of switch in and out and take some different hits where they need to. However, we want to try to avoid that. And so I was trying to think of what was going to be best to bring, and I heavily considered bringing Mudsdale in this last slot, but in the end, I decided to go for a Choice Scarf Infernape. It may not be the smartest choice because there's the Starmie and, you know, all of... I don't know. I'm still very torn about this, but we're going to be battling here in just a second, so it's just going to have to be what it is. Another reason we're running this is it handles the Celesteela if he is running the boosting set, where he can go +2 with the Autotomize. We can outspeed still after one Autotomize, and Flare Blitz is going to take it out, because usually in those scenarios, you're not going to be running any bulk on your Celesteela, and Flare Blitz just OHKOs like a non-invested Celesteela. So that is something that we will need to be aware of, and that's why we are bringing this. Just watch, I did all this prep for like Celesteela, Mega Venusaur, Terrakion, and Chandelure that they're just not going to show up. I don't know, like this is going to be a very tough battle. It absolutely is, and I think that that's where we're going to call it for this one. So I'm going to go ahead and let Phoenix know that I'm ready to go, and then we will battle it up, and you'll see us back here in just a second. Okay, here we are at the battle. We see exactly the team that we were expecting to see. So super weird. I don't know what was happening, but it wasn't letting me run Teleport and Soft Boiled on my Clefable, which was super weird. I don't know why that was happening. So I ended up just switching it to Wish Protect because I feel like we need the recovery still. But yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. That definitely is a little bit of a game changer for us. But looking at the team that we have in front of us, we're just going to have to play around it. And I think that Clefable was going to be my lead going into this in case he leads the Dragapult, which I could see him doing. And then I was either going to click Moonblast or Teleport out. But I'm going to go ahead and we could go big and lead. What do we want to lead? Let's maybe, I think we're going to stick with our lead and lead with Clefable. He leads with the Starmie, so we'll be able to see what the Starmie wants to go for. I think I just want to click Thunderbolt. Let me make sure I've got my calcs up first. Yeah, I do. Okay. Clefable versus a Starmie. If it's an offensive version, it's going to do a ton of damage if it's a Life Orb. But we're going to do a ton of damage back with Thunderbolt. So we're going to go ahead and click Thunderbolt. The one thing, he could switch into a Venusaur here, and that would be fine. So he goes for the light screen, actually. Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm going to go into... Wait. I almost made probably a pretty poor decision. So my guess is he's going to try to get the screen set up. So I'm going to go into Empoleon so I can defog them away. Yeah, can't have that. So he's going to go for the flip turn, and then probably the Terrakion if I had to guess. If I had to guess, it's the Terrakion. Oh, he goes into the Dragapult. Okay. That's fine with me, I think. He can't really hit me with anything, because this is meant to take on a special Dragapult. And let's see... Empoleon versus Dragapult. He could be like a subversion. If he specs, yeah, he's doing no damage to us. If he's doing like a Dragon Dance set, Phantom Force does quite a bit, but we're going to click Ice Beam, which he does go for the substitute. That's okay. We're going to show off we have our Ice Beam. We're back to full health now. And I think we just click Ice Beam again. How much is a Scald doing? Scald's not doing enough to break a sub. We see he is not leftovers though. So it makes me curious as to what set he is. Maybe, what do you have? I don't know. I think I just click Ice Beam again, though. Oh, if I would have clicked Scald there, that would have been amazing. But then we just go back into our Clefable at this point. Yeah, we go into Clefable here. There's no point in staying in, but man, if we would have gone for the Scald there, I considered it. I really did. And that would have done a ton of damage. But we're going to be able to see what he goes for here. If he goes for a Swords Dance, that's fine, because we have Clefable. He could predict that and go straight into a Venusaur, but I really don't think he does that. I mean, it's early in the game. He probably wants to get off some damage as quickly as possible. And we see he goes for the Stone Edge, and it does a ton of damage. Okay. That is okay with me, but let's calc that, because that looks like banded to me. That did 54%. So if you are choice band, that was either a low roll or, let's see, choice scarf. Nope, you're definitely banded. And that's okay with me. I'm gonna click protect then. Get a little bit of health back. And then we switch into Empoleon. Because that's not going to do a whole lot to me. Yeah. Does 38. We get damage back. And then maybe Scald. Because he knows that I'm going to have a water type move. Maybe he doesn't go back into Dragapult. Maybe Celesteela or Venusaur. Probably the Venusaur if I had to guess. Because there is a chance I take him out. I'm just going to click Scald as he goes into Celesteela. That's totally fine. If we get a burn, that would be fantastic. So he has lefties. That is okay with me. I think we just click Scald again, hoping to get a burn, right? Get the burn. There's the Leech Seed. Fully expected that. And then, what do we go into? I think Zapdos is a good swap here. Goes for the Flamethrower. Works for me. And then, I want to say, what's his switch into this? Pretty much nothing. Zapdos does so much work against his team. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we've got to keep this thing healthy. That's for sure. And if you're defensive and you're up against my Zapdos, Discharge takes you out from here in pretty much every scenario. Even if you're max bulk on the special side. Which I can actually check. Empoleon Scald did 27%, so you are not max bulk. So this would definitely take you out. I'm going to click Hurricane. That's fine with me. And then I'm going to click Discharge this time. Maybe we can get a para. No, there's no way he stays in. Yeah, not gonna lie, I was hoping for that burn. We're talking about leftovers on the Celesteela. Okay, so do we click Hurricane again, or do we click Discharge? I think we're gonna click Discharge this time. Whatever comes in, there's like a good chance that it gets parried. I definitely could have gone for a Roost there to see what he wanted to do. But if he does stay in here, he thinks he might live if I go for that again. Yeah, because Hurricane was going to do like nothing. But if I look at the rest of his team, Starmie gets blown away. Okay, there goes the Celesteela. And that's fine with me. That is fine with me. So Zapdos gets a kill. Here comes the Dragapult again. He's going to try to set up on me for sure. How much is this discharge doing? You know, I think we just go into Clefable here. That's the easy answer. So Dragon Darts were immune. Fantastic. And then we're actually going to throw up a Wish this time. Expecting him to go into the Venusaur. Yep. And then we go into... We're going to go back into Zapdos, actually. So he Mega Evolves, he goes for the Leech Seed and misses, and now our Zapdos is back to full health. That's a rough miss. Frowning face. I always hate... Leech Seed is like... I swear, I always miss Leech Seeds. It's one of like the least reliable moves, and it's got like 60 per... Well, no, it's not 60. It's like 90% accurate, I think. I don't know. But I 100% click Hurricane here. Lucky Phoenix, lucky you. Yeah, I always miss my Leech Seeds. It's funny, I was just talking about that and I saw what you said. So, yep. Definitely worked out in my favor that time. So Terrakion comes out, we go for the Hurricane. We get the crit on the Hurricane and knock out the Terrakion. And that probably mattered. How much was that? 76%? That may have mattered. I see it's if I got a high roll, it was a KO if he had no investment. I'm gonna say it was a roll depending on investment. Okay, so here comes the Chandelure. And if he specs Overheat KOs, Flamethrower does not, Shadow Ball does not. I'm doing a good chunk of damage. Let's see how much this thing does and go for the Discharge first. He goes for the Fire Blast, does 73%. We do 66 and get the Para. Wow, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. The hacks are awful this game. Okay. That is a-okay with me. We actually saw he went first, so that means he was Choice Scarf. And if you are paralyzed, I outspeed now. So I'm going to click Discharge again. And that did 33%. We go back into we go back into our Clefable here. And we hopefully can wish back into our Zapdos at some point, but I definitely still need Zapdos around for Venusaur and the Starmie. Yeah, we go into Clefable. So he makes the preemptive switch. That was good on his part. What's the best play here? Maybe Protect. I'm going to click Protect this time, see what he wants to go for. He goes for the Sludge Bomb. We're getting back up to health. How much is that going to do to me? I'm going to throw off a Wish this time, see how much it does. Oh, he is very strong and gets the poison. Okay. I'm going to need to take that for myself. Yep, I'm going to need to take that for myself. 100%. Goes for the Leech Seed. We get it back. I'm okay with being regular poisoned instead of being actual poisoned. I think I actually go into Infernape here. I'm not going to lie. See what he wants to go for. Goes for the Sludge Bomb, and then we're going to U-turn out. And go for King Henry. Hopefully he goes for the Sludge Bomb again, and we do. Yeah, track and Pult. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to click Scald this time. He goes for the Giga Drain. It's not going to do too much. And then... Oh, this thing is such a problem. This thing is a huge problem. I may have to let something go here. But what, I'm not sure. Because Zapdos is absolutely fantastic for the majority of his team. I'm not too worried about Chandelure anymore because it's paralyzed. So that means that Razor Blades does absolutely fine against it. Same with Dragapult, it's low enough. Razor Blades takes care of it. Swords Dancing can get the Mega Venusaur and the... So actually Razor Blades kind of can take us home here. But I don't necessarily want to get rid of that. So I'm actually going to go into Infernape as he goes... Ouch. Ouch, that's twice in one battle, my guy. I'm just going to let... I'm going to let Hit go down here. Mega Zam also brings this home, by the way, with its coverage. So... I'm going to just do the Flare Blitz, let Zuko go down, and then we go into Mega Alakazam and just run home with this. Mega Evolution, and then we're going to click. I'm still convinced he's running the what do you call it? Gosh, I can't think of the name. Sucker Punch. That's what it's called. So I'm actually going to click Substitute as he goes into the Starmie. And we trace Natural Cure. That's fine. And then let's see how much damage this is going to do. Let's see, where are you? Alakazam, there you are. Shadow Ball, it should take you out. And there goes Patrick. And let's hope we can just bring this home. There's the Dragapult. We click Shadow Ball. And then I think Mega Alakazam just gets a endgame sweep here. Mega Venu goes down to the Psychic. And then Chandelure goes down to the Shadow Ball. So big 5-0 win for us. Very happy about that. GG's to Phoenix. There was some absolutely awful luck in that game. GG's, like I said, I'm very happy for us. I'm not to say that I'm happy at your misfortune, but absolutely that was a good game on our part. GG's. The luck was not in your favor at all. Hate to see it. So I do feel really bad about the hacks in that game. It was very, very much a part of how the game turned out. Missing all those Leech Seeds was not ideal for him, but we were able to bring it home. Very excited that we get our second win of the season and are definitely still in contention for playoffs at this point. So that's it for our Week 5 battle. We will go ahead and see you for next week, where we hope to keep our playoff hopes alive. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time.